Because right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Royce, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. You can give us a call tonight on the Borders to Borders hotline. Chris Mueller is over on the other side at the 93.7 The Fan Cam. So what Royce was just saying, this weekend we have a chance at $1.3 billion with a B dollars.
That's right, Richie. And if I won either the Mega Millions or the Powerball, you know what I would do, buddy?
What?
I would buy a lot of nice things, perhaps buy my way into Oakmont and several other clubs. But I'd keep my day job at the Fan, and I'd keep this job so that I could talk sports with you twice a week.
Me too. I love it. But you could probably buy Oakmont. You wouldn't have to buy your way into the membership if you had $1.3 billion. You'd have to win both. You'd have to win both.
I'd buy the whole place, and I'd say, I'm going to plant every tree that you guys tore up. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's way better without the trees. I'm kidding. Please let me on that course someday. I'm begging you. Anyway. Are you going to – here's my serious question, Richie. It's still the deadest day on the sports calendar. Nothing's really happening. So I'll let you freelance with this for a second, okay? Do you actually play either of those? You know your odds are something like 1 in several hundred million of winning, if not higher. Do you still actually play any of those? You
know what? I don't go out of my way to play either one, but I would get into in with a group if they said, hey, let's throw in $20 to go play. You never win. I've done that a few times, and maybe I'll do it this Friday and Saturday. It's so big. I don't even know what the odds are of winning, but it's astronomical, 1 in whatever.
Your odds are, I think, better statistically of getting struck by lightning while eaten by a shark than winning the Powerball. I think that's actually, I think somebody actually did the math and said, yes, it's more likely that you die while being consumed by a shark and simultaneously struck by lightning.
I mean, wouldn't it be better to do maybe 20 different Powerball drawings for the $800 million, right? I mean, give 20 people a shot, not just one that wins $800 million.
Wait, how do you mean this here? Do 20?
No, just say you have a pot winners? Of $850 million, right? Do 20
just keep
separate
pulling
drawings.
winning combos.
Yeah,
gotcha.
not do one big one. Spread it out a little bit.
Everybody likes the big, crazy number. Everybody thinks that if they pick their lucky numbers, which in this town are all Steelers defenders from the 1970s, that they're going to win.
All right, well, let's get into some of the Pirates news here. I showed your tweet on this news just a little bit ago about David Bednar. I don't disagree. I mean, if the Pirates are looking to get a haul and potentially think they still compete, he's the guy you want to trade. And I understand that the fans here, there would be an outrage because you can't play Renegade at Pirates games anymore, and he's a Pittsburgh kid. But he's the one guy that you're going to have to give a deal to at some point, but he's the one guy that you could get a ton for.
If he was from Sioux Falls, South Dakota or something, or Grand Forks, somewhere like that, some random town in some random state that has no connection to here, and he came out to Hell's Bells or something like that, nobody would feel like what I said was controversial. He would fetch a big return because they do have him under arbitration control for 3 more years. He is one of the best relievers in baseball. But I think this is where the team trading the player at this specific position can get a lot more bang for their buck in terms of the return, because I think there are a lot of teams out there that might not be blue bloods, that might have this be the one year that they can strike while the iron's hot, Richie, and they're willing to overpay for a closer. So I think you could get potentially more than he's maybe worth. You could get a nice haul. And here's the other thing. Even dating back to Neil Huntington, but right now with Ben Cherington, Dari Moretta's been a good arm for them in the bullpen, Colin Holderman, and of course Bednar, all acquired by Cherington. For the last decade, this team really has, like I tweeted, been able to find good relief pitching at the back end. They should not be shy about potentially trading it, even though it's a guy from Mars.
Yeah, Felipe Vasquez, in his prime, obviously was the best closer in baseball. And if Neil Huntington would have traded him, they would have got a haul for him at that time. I know they wanted more. They wanted Gavin Lux and someone else, I remember. But I think the Dodgers were offering like their second and third prospect.
They're offering Will Smith, I heard.
Yeah, that was the catcher.
There was a chance they were offering Will Smith.
Yeah, they didn't want to give up Lux. And I think the Pirates, Huntington was set on trying to get Lux. But What I'm getting at here is, look, if he could get the Dodgers maybe 2 and 3 prospect, don't you think Bednar could get something similar to that?
I think Bednar could get a haul, but I mean, I think he has to pitch the next, couple of weeks up until the trade deadline on August 1st. He has to continue pitching well. I suspect he'll do that. They might not have a chance to showcase him very often, so they might want to throw him out there in some tie games or when they're down a run to try to preserve a one-run margin in the other direction. But I would think if there's at least a couple bidders on the market, then yeah, somebody might be willing to overpay, and I would prefer it be a Texas or a Miami, especially a team like the Marlins that thinks that they might not be in it again next year. They don't really know, and maybe they're willing to give you more than they should.
So before we go to break, do you think the Pirates offered a big-time trade for him that Ben Cherington would pull the trigger?
If they're offered a really big-time return that's obviously better than what they expect, yes, I think they would do it. But unless they're offered something that really knocks their socks off, I suspect they're going to keep him because I suspect they feel like he'll be much more valuable to them next year when they think they can contend.
Yeah, and then they could potentially trade him after next year. All right, we got to take a break. Back with phone calls, 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. See you in a couple minutes.